ォワード32番横山歩夢、フォワード22番富樫健也、そしてマクには河合健太。以上、サガン鳥栖スターティングメンバーサブスティチューションの紹介でした。ここで本日の試合をご紹介します。レフェリー上野康アシスタントレフェリー
に歩いてきてください。
ルヴァンカップを勝ち上がった中、チームの状況をどうご覧になっていますか？
Yeah, obviously we're happy to be through to the next round. However, that can wait now. All the focus has been on a performance tonight back in the J.LEAGUE.
ルヴァンカップはね、しっかり結果出して、次のラウンドまでね、進むことができましたが、それはね、もうまだ先のことです。とにかく自分たちに集中したいのは、この J リーグのこと、そして今日の試合についてしっかりね、集中してやりたいなと思っています。
今シーズンこれで4度目の対戦となるサガン鳥栖、印象いかがでしょうか？
Yeah, each time it's been a really good challenge. The manager is always progressive, always trying to be aggressive. So a nice challenge for us tonight that we're looking forward to.
毎試合ね、本当にアグレッシブな試合がね、行われていますし、とにかく相手の監督っていうのは本当にこう成長っていう部分を常にね、進化っていう部分もね含めながらやっていますし、その中でね、今日の試合も本当にアグレッシブな試合展開が行われるんじゃないかなと思います。
ありがとうございました。
Thank you.
韓国遠征も行った中断中ですが、収穫、そして手応え、どのように感じていらっしゃいますか？
いい中断期間が遅れたと思います。我々にとっての課題といいますか、そこの部分はみんなで共有して、しっかりとトレーニングできました。
中断明けのリーグ戦再開となりますけれども、アウェーでの戦い、選手たちにどのようなことを強調なさいましたか？
いつも通りやること、あとはやはりね、マリノスさん相手というところで、非常にやりがいのある相手ですので、そういう意味ではまた、いいリスタートを切りたいなと思います。
その対戦相手 F マリノスですが、今シーズンも4度目の対戦となります。どのような具体的な印象をお持ちでしょうか？
印象としては大きく変わることはないです。素晴らしいチームです。素晴らしいチームだからこそ、勝ちたいと思います。
警戒すべきは具体的にどんなところをお考えでしょうか？
やはり、前線の選手ですね。彼らに点を取らせないことは大切なんですけれども、そこばかりあまりフォーカスせずに、それ以上の得点を取るというところをフォーカスしていきたいと思います。
お互いシュート数も多い中という戦いもあったと思いますけれども、自分たちが得点を決めるため大切にしたいこと、どんなことでしょうか？
やはり我々は人数をかけたいと思いますし、そこの部分を大切にしたいと思います。あとは今おっしゃっていただいたように、少しね天候も悪いんですけれども、ファンサポーターお互いのファンサポーターが楽しめる試合にできたらいいなと思います。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
明治安田生命 J1 リーグ第27節横浜 F マリノス VS サガントス、両チーム選手の入場です。
A little belatedly, it's hello and welcome to the NH Spring Mitsuzawa Stadium as the J-League programme resumes after the international break with Yokohama F Marinos against Sagan Tosu. We've had a half-hour delay to kick off here because of bad weather in and around Yokohama, but the storm thankfully has passed overhead. It's match week 27, just 8 matches to go in the Marinos title defence. Back-to-back league defeats before the break have seen The Marinos slip 2 points behind Vissel Kobe at the top of the table. Disappointment partly alleviated, it has to be said, by last week's qualification to the semi-finals of the J-League Cup. But so patchy has been the form of Kevin Muscat's team since the season hit its midway point. You simply cannot hope to predict how things will pan out between now and December. Of course, the Marinos have it in them to make up the deficit to Vissel Kobe and push on, but equally, the fact they will now be fighting on 2 extra fronts with the continuation of the League Cup campaign and the Asian Champions League group stages looming. These next couple of months are going to draw on every drop of physical and mental energy at this club. The Marinos will at least start as the strong favourites today against a side who have slightly more prosaic problems. Sagan Tosu winless in 6 in the league, 7 in all competitions. And to make today's task even more daunting, the Marinos have won all 3 of the previous meetings between these two this season with an aggregate score of 11 goals to 2. Kevin Muscat largely stays loyal to the team that overcame the first leg deficit to power past Consadole Sapporo last week in the League Cup. And that means first league starts of the season for Yue Murakami and Yuki Saneto at the back. 22-year-old Murakami at right back has indeed never before featured in a league match for the Marinos. He's the bigger risk. Kota Watanabe returns at the base of the midfield alongside Riku Yamane, who's preferred to Takuya Kida today. Nam, the South Korean summer signing from Al Dahail in Qatar, scored his first Marinos goal against Sapporo in that second leg win. He'll be playing behind birthday boy Anderson Lopez, who is 30 today. The referee is Masuya Ueda, his 3rd time in charge of a Marinos fixture this season. The first Tosu match since he blew for 5 Shonan Belmare goals on the opening day at the Ekimai Real Estate Stadium. On a painful day for Sagan Tosu, Gose Koya leads the VAR team. Sagan Tosu, goalkeeper Park, returns to the club for whom he played 25 times in the 2019 title-winning campaign under Ange Postecoglou. He hasn't missed a single league match for Sagan Tosu since joining them in November 2020. A couple of changes elsewhere from the 11 that started their last match before the international break, the 2-0 home loss to Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Koei Tezuka and Yuki Horigome return in midfield in place of Kentaro Moriya and Keiman Tagashi. It's still a 4-2-3-1, but in a bold move, the 21-year-old Jun Nishikawa is pushed into the central striking role. He hasn't scored a league goal for Sagan Tosu this season. It did manage one in the League Cup, but still it's a big ask today against the Marinos. Kevin Muscat would love to write his name into history as a coach to lead his team to successive J1 titles. His Marinos team were 2 points clear at this stage last year, rather than 2 points behind at the top. They brought home the title. Opposite manager Kenta Kewai, just 42, had a bad run at the end of his first season in charge last year, which rather spoiled Sagan Tosu's campaign, but they're safe enough this time round. Five days on from the rousing 3-0 Levain Cup quarter-final second leg win over Consadole Sapporo, and 5 days before K1 side Incheon United come to the Nissan Stadium on match day 1 of the Asian Champions League group stages. It's J1 business today for the Marinos. They're in familiar blue, Sagan Tosu in white. Victory for the Marinos today takes them back to the top for 24 hours, maybe even longer if Vissel Kobe slip up at Sanfrecce Hiroshima. With just 8 games to go, every single point from here on in will be worth its weight in gold as the Marinos try to become only the 3rd club in J1 history to win back-to-back titles twice. The Antlers did it in 2000 and 2001, and then 07, 08, 09. Kawasaki Frontale did it in 2017 and 18 and 2020 and 2021. What will the Marinos manage to produce between now and December? Sagan Tosu are 13th in the table. Only one team is to be relegated from J1 this season, so they are well safe in mid-table on 32 points. Shonan Belmare bottom at the moment, down on 18 points. It looks bad for Belmare, 4 points adrift of the Marinos' rivals Yokohama FC, but it's Sagan Tosu with the first chance of the match. Origome steaming forward. It was Tosu away down the left-hand side. Origome arrived late. He's playing just in behind Nishikawa in that supporting role today. It's a nice little move, this. Kikuchi started it forward on the left-hand side. That needed an end product. It needed a finish on target, at least from Yuki Origome. But you can get at the Marinos. We know about their attacking prowess with Elbert and Anderson Lopez and Mizunuma, the front three today. Indeed, Anderson Lopez, the second top scorer in J1 with 17 goals this season. But they've had their problems at the back, the Marinos. They've got Yuki Saneto playing today, and Murakami at right back. And those two rewarded for good performances against Sapporo in the J.League Cup quarter-final two-legged affair. But Eduardo's partner has changed a lot in the middle at the back for the Marinos this season. Shinosuke Atanaka as the first choice, but he ruptured his ACL in the match with FC Tokyo a month ago. So they've tried out a couple of different defensive combinations since then, the Marinos. Saneto, wearing 19, gets the nod today, the 34-year-old. Junichi Mori is back in the team. Hiroki Ikura came in for a brief spell after Ichimori got injured again a month and a half ago. He's back as the number one. Tezuka releases Origome again down the left-hand side. Origome able to pull it back. Naganuma, he wanted too long on the ball. Some good attacking situations being forged by the visitors, though, in the early stages here. 20 is Huang, who will be partnering Kasuke Yamazaki at the back for Sagan Tosu today. There's Naganuma. Kawahara for Tezuka. Origome. Early cross. That's just a little too far, both Yuto Iwasaki and Jun Nishikawa. A bright start for Yuki Origome, the 30-year-old all-action midfielder. 2 goals in 12 starts this season. He's been the brightest spark for Sagan Tosu in these early exchanges. Marinos have been penned back. No chance thus far to get the ball into their attacking players. 36 there, that's the young right back. Murakami gets the nod ahead of Ken Matsubara today at right back. Matsubara not in the matchday squad, but the entire depth of this Marino squad will be tested over the next few months. Can't understate how significant a challenge the Asian Champions League group stage will be. They've got a poor record in the continental competitions, the Marinos, and that, of course, as is the case in any confederation, the real test, the real challenge for the side status. Dominate at home, but take it to the next level by winning the continental honours. Start against the Korean side, the 4th place finishers in K1, the Korean League, Incheon United, on Monday. Good ball, and the finish was wide from Watanabe. Well, breaking from deep, Kota Watanabe's a specialist at that. Mizunuma, with that early ball in, it perhaps took Tosu a little by surprise. I think Watanabe, his first touch, he might have expected that to run on a little more. He was kind of above the ball as he struck it. That's the first chance for the Marinos. Watanabe, the scorer of 2 goals this season. The first of which was a fantastic hit at Vissel Kobe. Won that match away at Kobe, 3-2, just shy of the mid-season point, and in 2 weeks' time, Kobe come here to Yokohama. What a match that will be. It may effectively decide the title. But first things first, the Marinos have got to put opponents like Sagan Tosu to bed. They certainly did that at the end of August, end of July, start of August. Two useful 2-1 wins against Gamba Osaka and FC Tokyo at the Nissan Stadium. They didn't play particularly well in either of those matches, but ground out the wins. Today might be similar. Conditions completely different to what they were as little as 2 hours ago here, by the way. We had electrical storms, a thunderstorm in the skies above Yokohama. That's why kickoff was delayed half an hour. It wasn't beyond the realms of possibility that the match was going to be called off altogether if the rain persisted. It really was torrential here. But the skies have cleared for Friday night action in J1. Elsewhere, the two other matches being played right now in J1, Kawasaki Frontale and FC Tokyo, that's goalless. And Urawa Reds against Kyoto Sanga, also no score in that one. Urawa Reds, by the way, will be the Marinos' semi-final opponents in the J.League Cup. Those matches to come next month. Anderson Lopez closing down So Kawahara. He'll have a birthday goal today, Anderson Lopez, on the occasion of his 30th. Naganuma. As I'm sure you will have noticed, the Marinos have moved away from their home, the Nissan Stadium, for today's match. We're at the home of Yokohama FC, some 5 kilometers south of the Nissan, an occasional venue for Marinos' home matches. It's the 6th time they've played a home match this season here. They've won the previous 5. Conceded just 2 goals here as well. Scored 14, including a 6-1 win against Sagan Tosu in the J.League Cup. Trying to play some neat stuff here, the visitors. Just work those combinations through the back line. Eduardo, a former Sagan Tosu player, 57 appearances for them in 2020 and 2021. One of 2 in the Marinos starting 11 today, formerly of Tosu. Mizunuma as well. Used to ply his trade in Kyushu in Saga Prefecture. 10 minutes gone, no score here. Sagan Tosu perhaps started the brighter. But winless in 6 in the league, Sagan Tosu. No win in 7 in all competitions. Played 3, lost 3 against the Marinos already this season. There's Elbert, just forced a little wide. Intelligent running into that channel by Elbert. Seems to have recovered his place ahead of Ryo MEIJI, who Kevin Muscat called upon after Elbert was sent off. That Gamba Osaka match just over a month ago. But for that one-match suspension, he'd be continuing his run today of playing in every single J1 match this season. Anderson Lopez has started every game. Watanabe has missed just 2. The business end, back end of the season. This is when you have to be a little bit more selective with those starting 11s, prioritise accordingly. Eduardo across. No-nonsense centre-half, isn't he, Eduardo? One of the 3 Brazilians in the starting lineup today for the Marinos, with Anderson Lopez and Elbert. We've not seen anything of Nam Tae-hee either. The creative midfielder, the recent signing. Useful cross, half away, that was Nam. Get it up to Elbert, first touch really good. Gives him some wriggle room. And then foul, Naganuma chasing back. Lovely one-touch stuff. They have a runner. Murakami had got forward. That's something we've seen from Matsubara all season, from right back. I mean, Murakami listed on the overall squad roster as a striker. 8 appearances in the cup competitions this season, but Muscat's seen something of him in a wide role from a far deeper starting position as well. Yue Murakami. Good challenge by Eduardo, but the distribution wasn't so hot. Tezuka for Kawahara. Naganuma. Harada. Tezuka. Origome. Delayed far too long on the ball there. Anderson Lopez with that first touch again. Tidy little flick there into Nam Tae-hee by Riku Yamane. Here's Yuki Seneto. First league involvement this season for Seneto. 4 appearances in the League Cup. 2 starts in the Emperor's Cup. And the defeat to Makita Zelvia in the 4th round of the Emperor's Cup means that the treble is not on, but the League Cup and J1 double very much is. Shot too high. Well, he did that against Sapporo in the 2nd leg of the Cup quarter-final. Nam Tae-hee spun around 25-30 yards from goal, took it on a couple of paces and then beat the keeper. It rather announced him as a Marinos goal scorer. I should think he'll be crucial in the upcoming Champions League matches. Tezuka. Naganuma. Origome. That'll be a little heavy. Kikuchi, the left back, had stayed forward there. Anderson Lopez not really into the game thus far. Just looking to nudge that to Elbert. Problem here for Nagato. Challenging Yuto Iwasaki for that ball. Here's Huang. Murakami. Watanabe. Eduardo steps over halfway. Elbert. Saneto. Murakami, delightful 1-2. And Murakami crosses cleverly cut out by Yamazaki. Yamane wins that follow-up header, thrust forward, but Nishikawa had dropped a lot deeper. Big R's for Jun Nishikawa today, wearing 18 up there ahead of that. The supporting three of Iwasaki, Origome and Naganuma. The way he likes to arrange things. Kenta Kawai, 4-2-3-1. Other options, more experienced options to lead the line. In particular, Keiman Tagashi, who's a former Marinos player who dropped out of the starting 11 for today. Naganuma is the joint top scorer for them, 7 goals. Iwasaki there, 29. Hasn't scored in the league yet this season for Sagan Tosu. Kawahara. Nowhere to go, but back to Park Il-gyu. So ever present this season, and indeed in each of the previous 2 campaigns, Park Il-gyu, the goalkeeper. Right back to 10 appearances he made at the end of the 2020 season, having joined straight from the Marinos. Here's Horigome. Horigome for the shot. Yeah, a little bit scratchy that. He hasn't had much of a footprint on the match thus far. 17-goal Anderson Lopez, which is his best ever haul in a single season. Really bright stuff being played here by Sagan Tosu. Origome onto his left foot. Origome very unlucky. It's going to come straight back to him. Well, that's two really good chances he's fashioned for Sagan Tosu. Yuki Origome now so close to breaking the deadlock there. Missed the target completely with that first chance inside 3 minutes. But Sagan Tosu still attacking. It's going to come back to Yuki Origome again. Back for Koei Tezuka. There's room on the right-hand side of the area. But infield onto his left foot, Wataru Arada, who has never scored for Sagan Tosu, misses the target with the curler. This was the earlier moment. Yuki Origome, again, Junichi Mori, just in a different zip code there. A scorer in the 6-0 win at Shonan Bellmare, a scorer in the 2-1 home victory over Cerezo Osaka in June and July. Close to another goal, a third of the season. Eduardo shut down, breaks for Naganuma. Then Hwang Seok-ko. Arada. Well dealt with there by Murakami. Yamane tries the through ball. Namte, he picks it up. Riku Yamane. Yuki Seneto. Murakami. Bit loose that from Murakami. Watanabe. Mizunuma. Does well, Mizunuma. Then doesn't get enough elevation on that cross. Denied an immediate chance to try and do better by that foot in from Tezuka. Good pressure on Murakami, and they're able to bring it away with Nishikawa. Nishikawa, yeah, cross came in early. Once again, it was Origome racing forward. Iwasaki too. Nil-nil is the score here at the NH Spring Mitsuzawa Stadium. Yokohama F Marinos against Sagan Tosu here. Elbert. Just presses the accelerator. No. Tezuka tracks him well. Eduardo. Watanabe just got that toe end in. Murakami beats his man, does well here. Murakami, plenty to aim at, and he's thrashed that into the side netting. He's tried to feed it there to the near post. I mean, Anderson Lopez was the runner, but having done that bit impressively, there's no end product. That's some bright signs in the first 25 odd minutes here, displayed by Yue Murakami. Completed his first 90 minutes in the Marinos first team against Consadole Sapporo, and the 3-0 win here 5 days ago. I mean, it came on the back of the 3-2 first leg defeat in Sapporo up at the Dome 4 days prior to that. So they haven't quite had the international break off. Yokohama F Marinos. Hwang Seok-ko. Slings that to Yuto Iwasaki. Kawahara. All the way back to Park. Pinpoint pass that to Taichi Kikuchi. Nudge over the top, really good run by Kikuchi, who just got there first ahead of Seneto. Looking for his first Sagan Tosu goal in today, a 52nd league appearance. Taichi Kikuchi, it's a good run. That's the best way to try and go about it and end that run, but so he needs to finish better. I mean, we've seen this pattern a million times, haven't we? The opposition, lesser heralded, really go for it, miss chances, and then the opposition go and nick the first goal. I'm saying that's going to happen here, but we've seen it before. Fourth meeting this season, as well as the first league encounter in Tosu back in May, which was won 3-1 by the Marinos. 2 goals from Jan Matthias and 1 for Elbert. Marinos also won both those J-League Cup group stage encounters. Again, the away match, they won 2-0. 6-1 here at the NHK Spring Mitsuzawa in June. Part of their best run of the season, a sequence of 7 straight wins. It took them from the end of May until the start of July. Sagan Tosu haven't actually beaten the Marinos in 11 matches. Not since a 2-1 win at the Nissan Stadium in March of 2018. Got a last-minute consolation in the League Cup drubbing in June, the 6-1 loss thanks to their 16-year-old striker Daiichi Suzuki, but haven't scored away to the Marinos in either of the last 2 league visits, a goalless draw last season and a 2-0 defeat in 2021. Ryo Morishita scored Sagan Tosu's last league goal away to the Marinos. Elbert didn't quite know how to deliver the attempt there. Nicely worked free kick. First time ball over the top, does well to just stay onside here, but then, whether to go for it with his weaker right foot or, well, he didn't quite know how to try and finish that off there, Elbert. So that last Sagan Tosu league goal at the Marinos. 1-1 draw, 5 days shy of 3 years ago. Morishita, a player who's since moved on to Nagoya Grampus and has forced his way into the Japan squad this year. As we know, Japan had a fantastic international break, contributing to the first ever sacking of a German national team coach as well, with that brilliant 4-1 win. Half an hour gone at the Spring Mitsuzawa. Yokohama F Marinos 0, Sagan Tosu 0. Dead even in terms of possession. Sagan Tosu have had 6 shots to the Marinos 3. Saneto got that toe end on the ball, but was fouled in the process by Jun Nishikawa. Here's Elbert. There goes Anderson Lopez. There's a good challenge by Yamazaki. Wado is left out a little loose. Naganuma picks it up and shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Joint top scorer with Yuji Ono, Yoichi Naganuma. Those two have 7 goals apiece. Running from deep, Riku Yamane. Mizunuma gives it back to Watanabe. Mizunuma gets a kick. Katsuya Nagato and Riku Yamane here. Deflection on the ball across. There's Elbert, manages to steer it back to Mizunuma. Murakami does well, takes over as well, Murakami, and then attempts to nudge it to Mizunuma. Everyone back here for Sagan Tosu. Elbert. I'll move it all the way back to Elbert once again. Here's Nam. Nam makes the run. He still. Well played, Origami. Getting back, tracking Nam Taehi. I mean, you can see why Kevin Muscat wanted to bring him in and just get him straight into the team. He's a creative player, he's a dynamic player, he makes the runs, he breaks the lines. He's the 3rd player they've actually used in that number 10 role this season, after Marcus Jr. and Nishimura. Chimori, nice idea to find Mizunuma. That's safely out. Tosu just weather a little more pressure from the Marinos, but holding their own here at the Spring Mitsuzawa. Sagan Tosu, who are in their 12th unbroken season in J1 after finishing 2nd in J2 and winning promotion back in 2011. I mean, they're a steady team, but I think it's too uncharitable to call them unspectacular. They've never won a cup, never got out of the J-League Cup group stages, only ever once advanced as far as the semis in the Emperor's Cup, and that was 10 years ago. The team that brought Fernando Torres to J1 in 2018, Sagan Tosu. Watanabe. Addison Lopez moves it on to Kota Mizunuma. Nagato. Elbert. Flick over to Nam. Elbert, second chance at the cross. Dealt with by Huang. Elbert again, more height on this one. Played by Mizunuma, getting it back to Murakami. Saneto moving forward from centre half. That's a whip ball in from Koto Mizunuma. Elbert. Here's Nam, does well. Nam almost broke there for Yuki Saneto. Eduardo, a lot of blue bodies forward here for the Marinos. Elbert just threads it across, a couple of brushes on the way through. And Tosu has managed to avert the danger for how long? Mizunuma hooks over the corner, dropping rather flat there, and they have to try and scramble it away. It broke ultimately for Anderson Lopez, but it was kind of just a stab at the ball without much thought to where it was going, really. That's the way it seemed. Clean attempt. It's been one of the less auspicious displays thus far from that man. A really good overall scoring record for the Marinos. This is his 55th match for them. 28 goals is the total thus far in J1. Watanabe is Mizunuma. First attempt strikes the backtracking Taichi Kikuchi. They get it moving again quickly with Murakami. Eduardo. There's his outside runner, Nagato. Well drilled defensively, Sagan Tosu. Murakami again, so keen to push forward on the right. Forces the Marinos another corner. Mizunuma will take it. Can't cut it back. Sagan Tosu just thrust the ball upfield, but we're seeing a change just in the complexion of the match right now. It's all the Marinos. After that bright start from Sagan Tosu, Elbert picks the ball up. Probing and constantly weighing up his options and then playing that too heavy for Mizunuma. J1 title winner last year, so won a couple of cups in his Cerezo Osaka days. Koto Mizunuma. Now defending to do. Iwasaki sends the ball outside for Naganuma. Here's Sokawahara. Tezuka. Huang. Naganuma. Kikuchi. Origome will chase this down. Kawahara there, foot in. Anderson Lopez there, completing the clearance. And it's Mizunuma, and maybe they can play their way out of a tight spot here. Sagan Tosu have won away. They've been victorious 4 times on their travels this season. Drawn 3, lost 5. As many as they've won at home at the Ikimai Real Estates. Here's Horigome, plenty of room for him. Wide left here, Horigome, to aim at in the middle as well. Well defended by Eduardo. In swinging cross, difficult to get right as a defender. Eduardo managed it there, he got ahead of Nishikawa. There's Kikuchi, but has to come back. Horigome, all sorts of room down the left-hand side. Murakami, the fullback on this side, pushing up. Again, the tempo has come down a bit there with Sagan Tosu as they just work out how to play through. And it's Park. Lovely idea if Iwasaki can get there, which he can. Great ball out that by the goalkeeper. Here's Yuto Iwasaki, has an overlapper as well. It's going to come into the near post for Nishikawa. And 2 blue shirts spotted that danger. They heard those alarm bells ringing and got back to just get there on Jun Nishikawa. But a splendid ball out from the back by Park Il-gyu. Last minute of the 45. We've had a nice flow to this first half. There have been barely any lengthy stoppages. Kohei Tezuka will play in this corner, left-footed, swinging in. But again, not good. Away at the near post, talking about not good. So Kawahara getting that shot all wrong. Again, no pressure on him. He needn't have hit that so prematurely. Just 1 extra minute then at the end of this first half at the NHK Spring Mitsuzawa. Zelbert with the Nagato, that left-sided combination. Nam getting involved. Mizunuma. Just a bit sloppy, the ball kicked up. And allows Sagan Tosu the set piece. So a team in pretty poor form have done well enough here at the home of the champions. Sagan Tosu, Naganuma looking to improve even on that as they go for the corner here at the end of the first half. Don't get it, it's a goal kick, and that will pretty much be that. On another day, that decision goes the other way, but not today. And the first half draws to a close here It's 0-0 between the F Marinos and Sagan Tosu. The visitors who started really brightly and have had the better chances. Yuki Origome crashed a shot against the crossbar, having put over the bar. A good chance in the opening moments. After that, the Marinos got into it. A couple of sorties from themselves, and then towards the end of the first half, it was Tosu back on top. So Kenta Kawai will be satisfied, I think, with the way his team have approached this. Haven't managed a goal, though, when they were on top, and that could be crucial against a team of the Marinos' depth and experience. We shall see what the second half will produce here, but so far so good for Sagan Tosu. It's 0-0 at the NHK Spring Mitsuzawa at half-time. So welcome back then to the NHK Spring Mitsuzawa Stadium. Players back on the field here, ready for the second half. No goals thus far. Really stoic display from Sagan Tosu. I mean, that man there has played every minute of the season, so Kawahara. Safe pair of hands anchoring the midfield. 44 Yuki Horigome come as close as anyone today to breaking the deadlock. A shot that crashed off Junichi Mori's crossbar. One of two really presentable openings he had in the first 45. But still no goal for Sagan Tosu away at Yokohama F Marinos in 5 years. I wonder what the second half will bring here, just a few days ahead of the opening of the Asian Champions League campaign for Japan's champion team, the Yokohama F Marinos. Against Incheon United, they're also in a group with the Filipino champions. They're in a group with the Chinese Cup winners from 2022 in Shandong Taishan. But they want to leapfrog Vissel Kobe at the top of J1. That's the business in hand today here. It's the 20th home match this season in all competitions for the F Marinos. They're 6th at the NHK Spring Mitsuzawa. They've won the previous 5, 3-0 against Sapporo, 6-1 against Sagan Tosu, today's opposition in the J-League Cup. 2-1 against Jubilo Iwata, Ureyusu in the Cup. Now the corner. Bright start to this second 45 from the Marinos. Eduardo perhaps dropped to the wrong man there. Front post, and the follow-up cross deflected by Anderson Lopez against the inside of the upright. Somehow that stayed out. Well, they've hit the ground running at the start of the second half here, forcing that corner, which was dealt with initially, but Marino's quick to recycle. And the first sniff of goal he's had all night, Anderson Lopez. Great flick there, just with the outside of the left boot. On another day that goes in, and we're praising a really marvellous piece of finishing. Not quite there though, not quite. The 18th league goal of this season for Anderson Lopez. And he's done little all match until that point. I think they perhaps earned their slice of fortune. Sagan Tosu. Here's Yuto Iwasaki bringing it away at the other end, playing the 1-2, trying to get away from Watanabe, who tracks back. Hard-working midfielder Kota Watanabe, two-time winner of the title. There he is, 2019 and last year. It's the corner, played short. Kawahara lifts that in high. There seemed to be a brush there off Yue Murakami. Now the movement starts. Just a little too high there for Huang. Anderson Lopez, important at the other end, having gone so close to scoring from a Marinos corner. Here it comes again from Kawahara. little bit deeper that time. Defender took it away from his goalkeeper, and the net was momentarily unguarded. Nishikawa tried to work himself more central for the shot, but by the time he'd done that, Marinos had bodies in the way. Cleverly worked clear. Nam into Elbert, 2 on him. Shutting Elbert down illegally. Four victories on the road for Sagan Tosu. 12 attempts have come at Garoa Reds, Kyoto Sanga, both 2-0. They won 6-0 at Shonan Bellmare, and they've already won on this pitch this season at Yokohama FC, 2-1. Have an opportunity here with Nishikawa. He just held on to the ball for too long, and that's swept wide again from the danger man. Yuki Origome hit the bar from outside the box. He's gone very close here. He's had 3 chances to break the deadlock today for Sagan Tosu. Origome. And the Marinos play themselves into trouble. Very casual at the back. Now it's Iwasaki. Does Tosu try and build something again? Elbert with a dribble. Does really well. Elbert as direct as ever, nudging it in field to Nam. He's got a player on the outside in Mizunuma. Oh, it's over the top. Murakami, saw his name up in lights there, steaming ahead from right back. First ever league start. He fancied a dream debut goal, the 22-year-old. Better luck next time. So the vital statistics there of Yu Murakami. 7 sprints, a couple of crucial tackles. Too heavy for Nagato. Anderson Lopez, well played there by Huang. Tough, rugged central defender. And he's kept Anderson Lopez pretty well shackled thus far. Apart from that one moment within the opening seconds of the restart after half-time, when the Brazilian hit the post. Eduardo will tidy this up. Marinos look perfectly on course this season with 7 straight wins at the end of May, start of July. But they suffered that stunning reversal to Makita Zelvia in the Emperor's Cup. It was on the 12th of July. It really seemed to shake the club all in. It was the first of 5 defeats in 8 matches. Nam scoops the ball up and over for Kota Mizunuma, cuts it back, Kawahara there. Since that run of 5 losses in 8, the Marinos beaten at home by Frontale in the league. They were trounced in the derby on this pitch, 4-1 by Yokohama FC. Quite a reversal that after they'd won the first match at the Nissan this season 5-0. Lost at Kashiwa Reysol, beaten in Sapporo in the first leg of the League Cup quarter-final. But the 3-0 victory in the the second leg seems to have enabled them to pick up. It was out of play, a cute play again down the left-hand side from Sagan Tosu. Just that extra percentage needed to properly test Junichi Mori. Lacking again. Eduardo. There's Murakami. A bit more direct that time, but there's no point when Wells are played like that to no one in particular. Even had there been a runner there, the pass was way too strong. Eduardo will maybe get another chance. No, he just telegraphs that. No way that pass was reaching Anderson Lopez. Origome really deft again. Step back and then the ball into Kikuchi, who immediately ships it up. Iwasaki. Murakami does his defensive job. Ten minutes into the second half. Sagan Tosu looking for this breakthrough here. Good corner, good save as well. It was Hwang's header. A couple of times they've looked for that. Kawahara's delivery this time was pinpoint. Hwang Seok-ho got there. Good save, Junichi Mori. There, beats those two defenders. It's only half-hearted, isn't it, from Yuki Seneto, who's the closest blue shirt attending there to the threat of Hwang Seok-ho. A centre-half who has an Emperor's Cup goal, but nothing in the goal-scoring column in the league this season. That was almost the moment for him. Yamazaki with the cover, just thrust that away. Watanabe. Elbert is never going to find Anderson Lopez there, I'm afraid. And Kikuchi gets that challenge from Murakami. Yellow card, in fact it's Naganuma. First booking, first card dispensed by Masuyu Ueda. Shown to Yuichi Naganuma. Elbert. So got it back there from Koto Watanabe. Here's Yuki Saneto. They go to Murakami eventually again. Defensive work, by and large, has been super solid from Sagan Tosu here. Mitsuzawa. Nam. And a little quiet in the opening quarter of an hour of this second half. Nam Tae-hee, having been a constant thorn in the side of Tosu in the first half, is Yamane. Murakami with that cross. Elbert is closest to it and feeds the header just a shade too high. Seeking out goal number 8 in J1 this season, Jose Elbert. Good whip delivery. A deliberate attempt to just steer that back from the direction in which it had come. And they beat Park Il-gayu that way. Now Wataru Arada has an issue. Bit early to get cramp, you might suggest. That's where you need Anderson Lopez on the end of the cross, really. It's too deep for the Marinos' top scorer. It ends with Elbert, third year with the Marinos for the Brazilian. Arada will play no further part here. That's the suggestion anyway. So this was the moment, well met by Hwang Seok-ho, the giant Korean defender. 4 caps for the national team, almost had his first J1 goal of 2023 there. Past the hour mark at the Spring Mitsuzawa Stadium. Still goalless here between Yokohama F Marinos and Sagan Tosu. Kawahara. Here's Iwasaki. There's a step over. Iwasaki. Kawahara! It's the second time that Sagan Tosu have struck Jun Ichimori's crossbar today. Their midfielders have carried that threat. First it was Yuki Origome in the first half, now it's So Kawahara. The man who's played every minute of the season. He's the first name on the team sheet. He has scored a J1 goal for them. Only the one this season, it was almost number 2. Elbert, good challenge. He tried to side foot it, tried to pass it home there, Elbert. Watanabe. Now, overlapper. Mizunuma. Oh, just too far ahead of Watanabe, who'd moved forward. Elbert thrashes it over. The game has opened up now. Elbert just moments after that header, which he tried to steer into the far corner with a more straightforward opportunity. And you would expect a player of his calibre to keep that at least low enough to test the goalkeeper. So we're seeing Jan Matthias now replacing Kota Mizunuma. So that's wide right up front. Matthias, who actually replaced Mizunuma just shy of the midway point of this season. He had a real purple patch of form, which was kicked off in the first match against Sagan Tosu away, when he scored twice in that match, Jan Matthias. And Takuma Nishimura now replaces Nam in the number 10 role. Asaki Uenaka as well has come on for the ineffective Anderson Lopez. Now then, Uenaka, 21-year-old striker, another who impressed in the recent Cup quarter-final matches against Sapporo. Indeed, he added a goal in that 3-0 win in the second leg. He was off the bench for the 6th time this season. Asai Uenaka, big chance for him today. He's only 21. So that's 3 of the front 4 switched around here by Kevin Muscat. 25 minutes to go. And it leaves Anderson Lopez, by the way, on just 3 goals in his last 9 matches. It's not the 30th birthday celebration he would have wanted, the Brazilian. But the team need is greater. So Kawahara with the free kick, carries through. I mean, again, Hwang just to the left of that sort of echelon, moving forward into the penalty area, looking for a brush on it. Carried through to Ichimori. Now the end-to-end stuff. Jan Matthias is going to be the right-sided threat from now on in that front 3. Keeps the Brazilian contingent up. To Uenaka. First touch for him. Moves into the central striking role, replacing Anderson Lopez. Saneto. Murakami. Distribution again a little off from Eduardo. Nilbert just herring back to try and salvage that. Now then, changes inside the last 25. So Nishikawa off, and I'm not surprised to see this change. Keiman Tagashi moves up front, perhaps a little unfortunate actually to not get a start today. The 30-year-old former Marinos player, 2 years, 2015 to 2017, Tagashi. But here comes Jan Matthias, who's really hungry, having just been brought on. Well, he's brought some extra acceleration to their play, Matthias. They don't get what they want there. Oh, well, he's sort of caught in 2 minds, isn't he? Does he try and keep it in? Does he let it run? In the end, he didn't either. They don't get the corner. He got that brace in the match at the Ikemen Real Estates 3rd of May, then followed it up with a goal in the 4-1 home win over Kyoto Sanga 4 days later. And Matthias just had that brief run in the team as a starter ahead of Kota Mizunuma on the right of the front 3. Then it's been Mizunuma back in for the last few matches. So the responsibility now transfers back to Jan Matthias. See Tagashi there with that shock of white hair, 22. Who's up front. Origome slides it across. Goalkeeper with the intervention. They've retrieved it again with Yaganuma here. Do look porous on occasions, don't they? They really do. Yokohama F Marinos. And it's Iwasaki. Feet it on there. Players staying well forward here. Narahara, that second serve, along with Kemen Tagashi, who's come on here for Sagan Tosu. All sorts of pandemonium there. Tagashi trying to get on the end of it. Well, delay as VAR gets involved for the first time. It's taken over an hour. So there's the ball through. I mean, Ichimori spills that rather unnecessarily. Oh, let's see what they decide. There's a clear tug on the shirt there on Kemen Tagashi. Katsuya Nagato will be the very concerned individual right now. Will he be put out of his misery? So there will be the communication between Koei Koya, VAR today, and Masuya Ueda, the referee, out on the pitch. The Marinos, and indeed Katsuya Nagato, will be nervous, no doubt about it. It's a tug on the shirt. We can all see it. It's blatant. Kind of gets ahead of the ball, doesn't he, Nagato, and takes Kemen Tagashi with him. How much of a look does he need? And it will be penalty. Wow. Inside the last 20, Katsuya Nagato is pulled up for pulling up Kemen Tagashi, the Sagan Tosu substitute, who's had a tremendous impact here. And it will be the same player, the former Yokohama F Marinos striker, who puts the ball down on the spot. He scored against Vissel Kobe from the spot back on the 16th of July. He scored a last-minute winner against Cerezo Osaka. He's a man for a big moment, the New York-born striker for Sagan Tosu. Off the bench here, away to the Marinos. Kemen Tagashi. He won the penalty. He's missed the penalty for the third time in this match. Sagan Tosu strike the frame of the F Marinos goal. Oh. Well, he's beaten Ichimori, all ends up there, but he's just pulled it an inch or so too far. Oh, well, I mean, as a neutral watching this, you cannot decry Sagan Tosu, the lead in this match, at all. They've been really impressive, Kenta Kawai's team, the way they have been positive and taken the game to the Marinos. Of course, they might still get something, but you can't go missing penalties against the defending champions. You have to put those chances away. They'll be ever more determined now. I mean, Origome, one of the previous players who've rattled that cage. Oh. I mean, for a 0-0, we've had entertainment here in spades. It's Kawahara. It's another corner. The previous one met the head of Hwang. Attempt that was saved by Ichimori, not there. really have hit a stumbling block in the league, haven't they? The F Marinos. Just need a break. Well, they might have had it with Anderson Lopez's attempt. I mean, with the 3 from Sagan Tosu, that was the 4th. Contributed to a total of 4 times the woodwork has been struck in this match. But before the League Cup commitments, Marinos beaten in the league by Yokohama FC, beaten by Kashiwa Reysol in the league. Now being held by Sagan Tosu. It's not the form of champions, is it? Eduardo! I mean, it'd be a huge chance missed because they could go top if they win today. Vissel Kobe not playing until tomorrow against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, and that'll be a tough test for Kobe. Togashi causing problems once more. Corner to the far post, 2 strong hands on it from Junichi Mori. Iwasaki picks up. Nice combination, plenty in the box, any kind of contact. And that ball goes over the line and it is 1-0 to Sagan Tosu, but still, we're goalless. Iwasaki and Narahara, the substitutes there, with the tricky footwork. Just to bring a little calmness to the middle of the park now, it's Takuya Kida for Riku Yamane. 4th substitution for the Marinos here. I mean, Kida Watanabe, that's normally the fulcrum at the base of the midfield. Yamane got a start today, but Kida's going to finish it. Kicks up and hits Sorigame's hand there. Bit unfortunate. Kida there with Murakami all over the top. Matthias tries to use his pace. It's Jan Matthias. He's got Nishimura forward, and Elbert tries to one-touch it there into Takuma Nishimura. Nothing doing. On we go, Elbert. The outlet is Nagato. How relieved is he, having conceded the penalty, only to then see it missed. Nishimura on the run, pulls the ball across. Eluded Uenaka at the near post there. Watanabe pushes it on quickly to Elbert, and that's very sloppy indeed. That's a word that can be applied to much of the Marinos play today. Sagan Tosu should be ahead. Yeah, that could be a motif, a picture indicative of the entire match as far as the Marinos are concerned. Murakami's going to have to go back towards Ichimori. Togashi will chase it down. I mean, funnily enough, if it does end goalless, if they end up being pipped here at the post in some shape or form, Tosu, it'll be 8 without a win in all competitions, but it won't tell the full story, really, of their progression, because Sagan Tosu have been excellent today. I mean, the raw truth of the matter is they still haven't won since the 8th of July, Sagan Tosu, and that 2-1 win over Cerezo Osaka. Jan Matthias. Oh, just wouldn't sit up properly there for Nishimura. Too much of a bounce on it. Park, yeah. Shuts down Uenaka. But since that Cerezo Osaka win 4 days on from that, they were knocked out of the Emperor's Cup, beaten 4-3 at home by Roasso Kumamoto. They've since followed defeats at Vissel Kobe and the Antlers, draws with Consadole Sapporo and Gamba Osaka. Home defeats to Avispa Fukuoka and indeed before the international break to Sanfrecce Hiroshima, when they conceded inside 3 minutes of the start of that match. Sliced open for Dieros Satiriou, Hiroshima's Cypriot striker, to score. The Brazilian Douglas would head another late on. They've clearly worked on things over the last couple of weeks, Sagan Tosu. It's just been a confident display all round. I mean, 10 minutes and a little bolted on at the end to see it out. Likewise, 10 minutes and a bit for the Marinos to potentially go a point clear of Vissel Kobe at the top of J1. I mean, they've been right on the limit, really, I think. Those home matches with Gamba Osaka and FC Tokyo. I mean, in both those matches, the opposition were unfortunate to leave with nothing. They won both of those matches. The Marinos 2-1, but grinding victories more than anything. So another change, Kaina Yoshio will come on here. It's Nagato's being replaced, so he can play in midfield or at the back. Yoshio, first time off the bench this season. He's made 8 starts. Second year back after 3 years on loan at Makita Zelvia. Wang, good header. Watanabe sends it out wide to Jan Matthias. Real old school wing play there, just head down, beat the fullback for pace, whip it in. Now 2 more switches for Sagan Tosu. This is Shota Ino, who makes his J1 debut today, the 20-year-old midfielder, and Ayumu Yokoyama, another 20-year-old sapling, if you will, but he has more experience, having come off the bench now for the 10th time this season. Iwasaki and Origome are relieved of their duties in the middle of the park. Origome had a tremendous match, but he's tired a bit. Fresh legs, indeed the legs of 20-year-olds here, needed for the final push. Ino wearing 38 goes into midfield. He had 20 minutes against the Marinos in the J-League Cup group stages earlier this season. But this is his first taste of J1 right here, right now. Ino couldn't get to that. Dispossessed by Yuki Saneto. It's Matthias again, beating his man. Matthias finally clips the ball across. Throwing himself at it was one of the other substitutes, Yoshio. Here's Yoshio again. Do you know what? The player in Saneto had sort of stayed almost grounded there as play continued. Just over 5 minutes to go. Tagashi sets the ball up. Here's Yokoyama. Yokoyama taking on his man. Just needed to hold it up a fraction longer. Just for those two players to get a little bit more advanced in the centre there. Struggling a bit here, Saneto. Wow. 3 of them going for the same ball. Saneto just may have to struggle on here unless they drop someone like Watanabe back, because the only other availability now is Ryo Miyaichi, left winger. Given away, very sloppy. Yokoyama. Narahara does well. Marinos push back again. Was out wide for Naganuma. Oh, it's in! It's crept in. It went through Ichimori. And Sagan Tosu have the breakthrough goal inside the last 4 minutes. Well, goodness me, they have earned that. They really have earned that. They've missed a penalty, but finally, Yoichi Naganuma breaks the deadlock. It could be a famous win. It could be one of the most crucial goals in the J1 title run-in. The Marinos have been prone to sloppiness all day today. It was Narahara, the substitute, who feeds Yoichi Naganuma. He cuts in to score his 8th goal of the season. It's through the legs of Saneto. It's through the grasp of Ichimori. Wow. 86 minutes. Yoichi Naganuma for Sagan Tosu. Can they hold on? This really is a malaise now in J1 for the F Marinos. And coming so soon ahead of the Champions League challenge. It's a real downer for them. And now Tagashi, it's one-on-one. It's Keima Tagashi, no. Again, he didn't need to release that early. This has been a thrilling J1 contest. The F Marinos are on course for a 3rd straight league defeat. Can the Brazilians change it? It was Elber to Jan Matthias. Back for Elber. Multi-layered defence now from Sagan Tosu as they attempt to close this out. It would be a first win in 12 attempts against the F Marinos if they are able to do so. There just isn't that spark, is there? Yoshio. Uenaka. Back for Kaina Yoshio. Makes headway in field. It's Yoshio! It's 1-1. Kaina Yoshio rescues it. Well, what on earth was happening at the end of that attack? He was just given kind of a free pass there, kind of Yoshio. It's his second goal of the season here at the NHK Mitsuzawa Spring against Sagan Tosu. He scored in the J-League Cup route. He scored in the league. And that adds to another one he scored at the Yokohama Real Estates in that reverse League Cup fixture. It's 3 goals in 2023 for Kaina Yoshio. All 3 have come against Sagan Tosu. It's potentially the most important of the lot. They were undone by the basic 1-2 play. At the end, there was just after you, sir, I'm afraid, from Sagan Tosu at the back. It's the first league goal for Yoshio for the Marinos since March 2022. That should be the goalkeepers. Yokoyama furthest forward. They needed Tagashi making a play for that. We'll have 7 extra minutes. Time enough, isn't it, for someone to be a hero? Maybe it'll be Tezuka up to Tagashi. Free kick goes the other way. And Akito Sakuta will complete the changes for Kikuchi. At left back here, off the bench for the 8th time this season, the 31-year-old Akito Fukuta. Elbert just allows Narahara with that foot in. And then a good challenge from Yoshio. They've been given a huge bump by that Yoshio equalizer. Now Murakami tries to weave his way past that full-back, big roar. The crowd wanted the decision. They're not going to get the decision. So on we go. Last season's meeting at the home of the Marinos in J1 was a draw, 0-0. It was 2-2 at the Yokohama Real Estates last year. We're on course for another league draw, but don't rule anything out here. And finally, there might be a bit of conservatism in the Sagan Tosu approach as they stick with a point is the intention, but it's going to be all the Marinos here pushing on for the winner. Wang gets the ball away, only as far as Takuya Kida. Here's Jan Matthias. He's looked lively since coming on. It's Jan Matthias! Deflection takes it over the top. That nick off Hwang on the way through. I think that was on the way, the shot from Jan Matthias. Let's have a look. Well, it was certainly on target. Maybe the goalkeeper had that under control part. But Hwang nudges it over. So Yoshio will send in the corner. Kind of Yoshio. Plenty of blue shirts there, Eduardo. Doesn't get that contact right. That would have been the time to score his first goal of the season in J1, Eduardo. Held up there by Uenaka. It's Elbert now prodding and probing. There's Elbert, spots that runner, Jan Matthias. Important footing, trailing footing there from Fukuta, the substitute. Matthias on the recycle, finds Yoshio. Yoshio again. Just slides it there, tight to Nishimura. Too tight, Watanabe. And then Ino with the challenge, Eduardo well forward. Matthias, Murakami. Plays it short to Uenaka. 2 white shirts around him. Jan Matthias. Can they trick their way through? Here's Watanabe. And Yoshio just hammers that across. Oh, good save. Jan Matthias with the effort. Really good stop that by Park Il-gyu. That was heading in. Good save. Inside the last 2 minutes now of the extra 7. A Marinos winner would bring the house down. Now then, just before that Matthias strike, Abo kicked up and seemed to catch the arm of the defender, did it? Well, no, okay, we're not going to engage the services of VAR. Matthias with the corner, Eduardo, unmarked, sends his header wide. Well, on little moments like that, titles are won and lost. I mean, Elbert is a whisker away from stabbing it and making sure, isn't he, as well. A goal in the cup against Briabeka Oriusu in June, but nothing in the league for Eduardo in goal-scoring terms since basically a year ago this weekend, and the goal at Kyoto Sanga, I mean, that was the moment to win it. He was unchallenged there as he headed goalwards. The yellow card for Park. Now then, on the overlap, it's a corner one. Look at the clock by Sagan Tosu. Yokoyama, full of running down this right-hand side. Sagan Tosu goes straight up the other end and threatened to properly crash the party. We're past the 7 extra minutes. It's match point here. There's the corner, there's the defensive header. It was Uenaka, follow-up volley. Oh, well, that was a hero's moment, potentially for Yokoyama, but he scuffs it. And a thrilling J1 encounter ends all square. Sagan Tosu were magnificent today. They seem to have won it when Yoichi Naganuma finally broke through for them in the 87th minute. But Kaina Yoshio, one of the F Marinos substitutes, scored an even later goal in the 90th minute to make it 1-1. And all that after Kaiman Tagashi, Sagan Tosu's substitute, had won and then missed a penalty in the 72nd minute. So Kevin Muscat's, the team here, missed the chance to go back top of J1. They're now a point down on Vissel Kobe, who will look to push home the advantage 24 hours from now against Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Sagan Tosu perhaps could and perhaps should have won it, but it's finished all square here. 1-1 at the Spring Mitsuzawa. So, respect exchange between our two teams at the end of a brilliant match. It's now just a draw and 2 defeats in their last 3 for the F Marinos. I mean, that bump that they would have hoped to have received from the J-League Cup quarter-final victory, the progression into the semis hasn't happened today, but you have to doff your cap to Sagan Tosu. 8 without a win in all competitions, but that doesn't tell the full story because they have a team here under Kenta Kawai. Kevin Muscat with plenty to say to the officials. He'll be disappointed they haven't won this, but they came up against a really useful side here in Sagan Tosu. And now the focus will switch to continental concerns and the start of the AFC Champions League campaign next week for the Marinos. But in terms of them defending their J1 title, it's Vissel Kobe at home in 2 weeks. And quite honestly, it's in the balance now whether they'll get 2 from 2. It's finished here, 1-1.
横浜 F マリノス吉尾選手にお越しいただきました。1対1の勝ち点1です。どう振り返りますか？
いやもう本当に悔しいですし、次は自分のゴールが、勝利につながるようにやっていきたいと思います。
試合終了間際のゴールでしたけども、自分でパスを出してさらに受けて中央突破、あのシーンどう振り返りますか？
そうです。ポジションはサイドバックでしたけども、時間帯的にも